Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I hope everyone's doing amazing. So welcome to my new DLC speculation video for the Shadows of Change. So those of you who tuned into my last video on DLC speculation, I released it a day before the roadmap came. I was correct about the format, but very wrong about the actual races. I did call Cathay, but yeah, I did think that Norska was going to see some love. I was a bit surprised to see they're nowhere on the roadmap, but the roadmap looks amazing, and I know Norska will get their time in the sun. Uh, just in the future. So let's go ahead and go into my picks. So for Tzeentch, I have chosen Ingram Van Hoosman. I did run a poll on Reddit, and I did see that the Changeling got a bit more support than Van Hoosman. But looking into Changeling's lore, I feel like he's more of a hero, and I think that Ingram Van Hoosman really has some interesting unit choices, which I'll go on in the next slide. So we have Mother Astankia, who will be bringing in the lore of the Hag, and I think they'll be expanding the Kislev landmass with her. And I know in my last speculation I chose Yin Yin, but I thought that that was going to be more of a seafaring DLC. So for this one, I have decided to go with Sun Wukong. So moving on to the Tzeentch roster. So here are some of the picks that I've chosen that I think would make excellent choices for this DLC. So first we have the centerpiece for Tzeentch. It would be the Fireworm of Tzeentch. This guy would be running in there with Rampage, shooting fire out of all of his orifices. I think that he is a heavy, friendly fire creature, so you would want to keep them a little bit away from your main units, but that's fine. They have a very range heavy roster, so having some of these run into the enemy's front line, tearing them apart would be awesome. So since Engram is my choice for the Legendary Lord, I wanted to go with, his Cabal, his Acolytes. I know they're very human, but we have the cultists, so they do have some humans in the monogod factions, and since especially is very big on their cults, these guys, maybe they have a mechanic where they have bounce spells, or maybe if they get enough kills or enough of them die, they summon demons, flamers, or turn into chaos spawn, something. But yeah, I really believe that these guys are wanted here, especially in an Ingram Van Hoosman DLC, and of course the mutants of Tzeentch. So all the Chaos Gods are well known for mutations, but the Changer is, the number one. He's known as the most, so having some kind of mutants of Tzeentch coming in would be amazing. So for a hero, there was a hero on tabletop that I found, the Exalted Flamer, which has been already added to the game. So I've chosen the name Pyrocaster, which was one of the names for like the upgraded flamer, and this guy would be replenishment. I think he would give replenishment. I think he would be some kind of maybe aura focused hero to help buff your backline, and I think he would be a bit squishy, but that's fine. There has to be a downside to him somewhere, but yeah, I think this would be a great lineup. I know people are expecting Zangors. I don't really want to have 4 DLCs because the Pestigors would come with the next one, and so on and so forth. But I don't want to have 4 DLCs that are locking the full Beastman experience behind paywalls that don't have any Beastman, Legendary Lord, or mechanic that goes with them. I do see a lot of people asking, like, hey, how do I get the full Skaven DLC? Oh, you get this, and it would just be so hard. Like somebody who wants to get the full Beastman DLC, the full Beastman experience, they would have to purchase the Call of the Beastmen, the DLC with Torox, and then 4 different DLCs that have no legendary lord. So I think that the God Touched Beastman units should come out, but in one DLC. Um, that is my thoughts on that. So moving on to the legendary lord and legendary heroes of Tzeentch. So for the lord, as mentioned before, I'm choosing Ingram. I think he's going to be very cult focused, very good at getting grimoires. He'll have similar abilities like Kairos with his grimoires, but one finale, one where he can nuke a town, kind of like a magical explosion from within. I think that that will be really, really cool. He'll, of course, be mounted on Bordos, his two-headed dragon, have his Skull of Catan, which will probably give, Winds of Magic, probably give a big ward save. He'll just be a beast. I'm really excited for if he's the choice. And of course, I haven't forgot about Changeling. I do believe he will be the legendary hero that comes with the pack. I think that they can make him extremely unique and cool here. I think that you take him out of an army as an agent, and he finds like a legendary lord, and he does his his action against that army, and he takes the form of either a hero or a lord chosen. So you can race him across the field or the map to, let's say, Karl Franz, and if he gets his success, he creates a clone of Karl Franz, and you can bring him back into the army, or Gorok, or the sky's the limit. I think that that would be such a cool way of exploring the changeling. People would love it. I know I would. I would. I really would. I think that would be amazing idea. So as far as the free legendary hero, so I thought it was a slam dunk Hellbrass. He's the first front line. Like looking into the lore, he's really the frontline fighter that rings the most bell for me. He has a ability called Breath of Life, which regenerates himself, regenerates the people around him. So I think that he may even have like a global replenishment, which would be insane and super cool if they added him that in the game. I mean, Tzeentch needs it, Kairos needs it. I'm sure Ingram's gonna need it. They need replenishment, but I remembered. I have been reading through a lot of the Gotrek and Felix books, and the 5th book, Beast Layer. So there is a big bad named Eric Demonclaw who has 2 mages working with him of Tzeentch. He himself is Tzeentch aligned. He has some magic, but he's very much a close quarters fighter. He gave Gotrek quite a fight. So he also comes to mind, as a lot of the DLC, free DLC has been Gotrek and Felix focused. We had Ulrika just came out, and I do believe the toolbox hint for the next free LC is leaning towards Malachi Maxson. So those are just to throw in another one. I do think it's going to be Hellbrass, but just to throw in another idea. You never know. Moving on to Kislev. So we have the organ cannons. I would like them to have another form of artillery. So of course, think the dwarf organ guns, except for tied to a horse, so it can bring them into a better position quicker. Take some time to set up in that new position, but attacking somebody's flank with these things would be monstrous. So the spoiler alert, I'm thinking that the Lord and Hero are going to be the Hag Witch and Hag Mother. So I think that they will have a building chain that would need something to fill it, some kind of unit. So I'm thinking about spirits. So maybe a spirit elk, the Hawks of Mishka in spirit form, or the spirit wolf, spirit bear, but I think they have enough bears. But yeah, these ethereal units that you can recruit would make a welcome addition. For humans, I think Droyaska would be great. So they would be dual wielding master swordsmen, kind of like, let's say, the war dancers for the Wood Elves. I think that would be cool if they have it like hybrid, like most of the Kislev units, so like throwing daggers or Molotov cocktail or something that they would throw before engaging in combat. And of course, the centerpiece, which would be the Frost Fiend, like giant, their spirit. So, but giant frostbite creature. Uh, like I think that this would be a solid unit setup. As far as Mother Ostankia goes, give her the chicken hut. People want it. I want it. I think it would be really cool. I think it would be really cool if she has a unique stance for channeling, where she goes up, up, up in the chicken hut, and so she would not only be channeling for magic, but would get a huge bonus to visibility. I think that would be a really cool way to implement that. She would have Lore of the Hag, so Lore of the Hag would be like curses, hexes. It would also probably have some spirit summoning, and in its final form, it would have like a possession of a spirit to the user. So she would like then essentially become a really strong melee lord for a given amount of time. There would probably be a set amount of times where you could do it in a battle, maybe only once, maybe twice. But that would really spice things up. So Hagmother, maybe Hagmothers wouldn't get the chicken hut or the witches. So if that's the case, I would see them mounted on probably like a spirit elk um, sled of some sort. Maybe real elks. I'm just thinking using the spirits. And they would have, you know, the Hag Witch would definitely have the increased movement, because as I've mentioned in my last video, I'm a big fan of heroes, every single faction having one hero that gives increased movement and one hero that gives replenishment. So I'd love to see her having that. So that would round off the legendary lords and heroes for Kislev. And lastly, we have Cathay. And I know what you're saying. There's no gorillas in Asia, I'm aware. However, when I was looking at the different type of primate options, honestly, I was thinking of how cool it would be to have gorillas implemented here. They would maybe be kind of like rat ogres mixed with sacred croxagores, like really like hitting hard. Maybe they could hold cannons or have another variant that holds cannon, kind of like lead belchers. I want them to just go crazy with this primate. If they're doing Sun Wukong, I think would be fantastic, because I don't think they would fit in any other faction anywhere else, and I just think that it would be amazing. And let me know in your comments what you think about having all the different primates show up in the Sun Wukong DLC. Having like spider monkeys, kind of like skinks with archers, and starting with pole arms and moving up into orangutans and then apes as your front row or frontline fighters. I think that they could really make this go nuts. I would love it. I think how it would work later is maybe the other Cathay factions can have these different units in their faction, but they would start at an increased price, recruitment price, and through your diplomatic relations with Sun Wukong, it would decrease. So let's say you have a non-aggression pact, minus 10%, a trade agreement, another minus 10%, and until you get the military alliance, when they become the normal price, or different regions. Like I think that there was a monkey village in the Realms of Chaos campaign. So if you own that, you need to own certain structure, certain provinces to recruit them. But no, I think that would make Cathay very unique, and I would love it. I would love the different primates to show up. For the legendary lord, of course, it would be Sun Wukong with his pole. I think he would be a very quick and fast fighter. Really, really, really good at front line. Crazy anti-infantry. Just go in there, with a pole that would just wipe the infantry across the board. He would be no slouch in 1v1, that's for sure. I think he would be really, really powerful as well. I think for a lord choice, there would be a monkey warlord. He would be anti-infantry as well, and give that front line lord that's needed. I don't think either of the two would be mounted. I think they would be on foot, but they would make up in buffing, the primate warriors and whatnot. And of course, for a hero, the little monkey assassin. They are in talks with Clan Eshin, so I don't see why not. I think that they can have the duelist monkey assassin as the hero. All right, so moving on to the starting locations. So for the Immortal Empires campaign, I think Ingram Van Hoosmine would start up in the Chaos Wastes. There is a settlement called the Silver Tower of Sorcerers, which is, very Tzeentch. It's currently owned by a Cornate faction, so I think that maybe he would move in there. It makes sense for him to be there. And currently, that faction, that location is sandwiched a little bit between Sigvald and Malice Darkblade. So maybe they would want to space it out a little bit more, add a little bit of extra territory. But I could see him starting up there in the Realms of Chaos campaign. Maybe somewhere in the Empire would make sense for him. As far as Mother Estankia, she would be starting in a place called Duclis Forest. The location, it is a province that exists currently in Realms of Chaos. It is not there in the Immortal Empire. So they would have to expand Kislev a little bit, add that territory. It could definitely be a magical forest. I don't know. Wood Elf fans would be super happy, but whether or not they decide to do it, I think it works. It makes sense. But yeah, expanding Kislev, definitely something that can be done or should be done. Give her a little bit of extra territory and room to breathe. And Sun Wukong would be in the Mountains of Heaven. So in the mountains east of where Helmengorst starts, I think that he would belong there in both Realm of Chaos and as well in Immortal Empires. They would be adding a few territories there in the mountains for him to grow. So now, why would we be fighting? What would bring these three into conflict? So, of course, the first idea is it being a 2v2. Ingram is, moving in for some knowledge in the forests of Derkles and invading Mother Estankia's territory. And of course, Changeling bothering Sun Wukong, so that's starting a 2v2 conflict that they decide to merge together. Or the other option is Tzeentch has been known, like he had in the Gotrek and Felix novels, there were two exceptionally powerful twins that had so much magic they were able to activate rifts. So maybe it's possible that Ingram was experimenting and opening rifts with his advanced knowledge or his, through his cabal, and he opened up a rift between Cathay and Kislev, and Sun Wukong maybe decided to explore this land with his army and saw, hey, maybe I can't be the king of Cathay, so maybe I'll claim these lands for my own, and started an adventure like that. Or maybe the changeling, instigated things. I do like the Rift idea because, how else would Sun Wukong and Mother Astankia interact? But there's several ideas there. So with that said, I do want to thank you guys all for tuning in. And let me know in the comment section what you think about these ideas. Do you want to see Sangors in this DLC? Is the monkey only idea, or the monkey focused Sun Wukong DLC not to your liking? Do you really think Changeling should be the legendary lord? And yeah, please comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much.